Yeah.
Like you're at point A, and when you get to point B, you look back and say, "How the heck did I get
Yeah.
here?"
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, also there's terms like love bombing, right? Isn't that one where it's like
Yes,
when they feel like maybe they went a little too far, or maybe they have to back on that roller coaster, and they'll love bomb the heck out of you so that,
right.
and then now you're gonna love that affection. So now you're gonna be on your best behavior, get love, right? Isn't that like
Well,
the
it's
way?
a manipulation
Yeah.
technique. That's what
Yeah.
love bombing is. So
Mhm.
they feel so in the beginning, they love bomb you because I mean, you know,
According you. Yeah. Yeah.
they're courting you, but they're going to keep love bombing you all the way till the end,
Mhm.
all the way till the end. Because when they do something wrong, it's going to be, "I'm sorry, I'll never do that again. I
Mhm.
love you. You're precious. You're this. You're that." Whatever. They know you. They
Yeah.
have you pegged. They
Mhm.
when they feel you're onto them, or maybe like further along, and I won't give any spoilers, from my experience, but when you're further along and stuff happens that like anybody else in their right mind would be like, "That's it, dude. Like, I'm out. Peace out.
Mhm.
Done." But they know what to say to make you stay. They
Yeah.
know what to say. They know how to pull your heartstrings, and you're like their puppet. They know how to play you. So you say, and that's just what it is. But that's what love bombing is. How many times I know the first time I sent my first manuscript to the publisher, she's like, "You said you were done like 50 times." And I look back, I typed in the search in the
Yeah.
document, "I'm done." And I think it came up like 100 stuff because it was like, "After that, I'm done. That was it.
Yeah.
That was the last straw." And then she's like, "But then you go on and it goes on and it goes on and it goes on and
Yeah.
you're done, done, done." It's because it's this constant push and
Yep.
pull. That's what it feels like. You
Uh,
pull away because they've done or said something atrocious, unforgivable, but then they lure you back. Then they push you away and they
yeah.
lure you back. And it's that constant, like, on again, off. Like I always say, it's a true love hate relationship. The only problem is that when they're loving you in that love bombing, stage, which never lasted too long for me. I had actually started taking a record. It's where my book came from, is from my journal. And he could never go more than 10 days in all of our 20 some years together. There was never more than 10 good days in a row, if you can call them that. Those were just non-incidental days.
Yeah. Yeah. They
He
were probably
couldn't
the
do
bare
it.
minimum. Yeah.
He could
Well.
not
Yeah.
endure the
Yeah.
the the good guy part of him for more than 10 days. It
So
it
those
was
good
ridiculous.
days, like you said, were basic, probably just normal days, just him, quote
They
unquote.
were what people, should
Yeah.
have, yeah, like on a
So
normal
that
day.
kind of messes up your scale because healthy relationship have a plentiful normal days. That's like all the way up here. But because you're way down here in abusive relationship, when they were, the scale only brings you up to average or normal.
If
That's
even
right.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, it got to the point with me, and I think many people can relate to this, where, as time goes on, if something terrible didn't happen that day, that was enough. Even
Yeah.
if there was insult and demeaning comment and a slam of the door, punch in the wall, if something wasn't swung at your head, you weren't threatened in any way.
That's a
You're
win.
just like, "Oh, okay, we got through the day. Okay." Like, it's sad that you become like that chaos becomes your normal.
Yeah.
But it's just, people always talk about too, like it's like walking on eggshells. I think through the eggshells, it was like a damn minefield for me because the mood could be okay and it would instantly flip. I mean, God, I remember a few times he'd say, "Why did you look at me that way?" I'm not even looking at you. Like, I mean, I would get like, "I didn't even look at you. I swear to God." "Well, I saw you." "No, I didn't."
Um,
And it would just explode. It could be the littlest thing. Even somebody today was telling me about their experience. She's like, "I just sat down at the table. It was the only remaining seat at the table. And I sat there and he just exploded. I wasn't supposed to sit at the head of the table," she said, "but it was the only seat." So it's like you don't even know when it's gonna flip on you. You think you're okay. And so even trying to raise my kid in the middle of this, we had a son together, that
mm,
added a whole element. But I mean, it got to the point where my son was old enough where, like, if one of us was home first already and the other one walked in, we just had a look. or we text each other like today is a day because it's a very neutral text, like today's the
Yeah.
day, like
Yeah.
morning, like when you come home, just saying like
Wow.
tread carefully, tread lightly, and nobody should have to. The problem with that, yeah, I don't want to spoil too much in the book. You'll get there, but
Yeah.
for me, it manifested physically because it's all of this living with so much worry and stress and tension. I was living in fight or flight, and I lived in that state in my childhood. Now I was living it in my marriage, and it eventually, without getting into too many details, manifested physically where I became autoimmune and developed a lung disease because of that cortisol, that stress hormone constantly going through my body at such elevated rates. So it's something that very realistically, it is, nobody that's posting pictures of their abs online and having a healthy self-esteem could have affected my health that way. But being given the silent treatment, physical threat, the legal abuse, the financial abuse, there was sexual abuse. It's a lot, but something comes at you and you don't even have time to process it or deal with it when something else is coming at you and then something else. And then in the middle of this, I'm still trying to go to work and be a functioning human being.
Yeah.
I still have a kid to raise. I still have a mortgage to pay and a house to clean and all the regular stuff of life. And
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot for people.
Yeah, because you're dealing with the normal everyday stressors, right? That we
Yeah.
have.